Boa noite! Nós estamos aqui direto do Collab Inovação 2026 e vamos iniciar esse Aciub Talks com dois participantes e palestrantes do Collab que vieram direto do Vale do Silício. Então é um prazer ter o André aqui, que é pesquisador da Meta, mora lá fora, conhece não só dos Estados Unidos, mas também de China, né? E o Shon Burton, que é o fundador da AI Conference, uma conferência que vem se multiplicando e crescendo muito em São Francisco, no Vale do Silício. Nós vamos fazer essa gravação em inglês, então desculpem já de antemão o meu inglês, que não é tão bom quanto o do André e o do Shon, logicamente, mas depois vamos ter tradução simultânea. So, André, nice to have you here. It's an honor. And Shon Burton, it's very good to have you here with us. So, if you can introduce yourself quickly, please, feel free.
Okay, so my name is André. I'm a research scientist at Meta. Been working at Meta for like 7 years now, and I'm very happy to be here today.
And I'm Shon Burton. I'm the founder of the AI conference, as you said. Before that, long time in AI. Sold a software company 2023.
And you like to invest and to have new startups as well.
New startups, yeah. Can't stop. Just have to keep going.
So we are facing days that the changing, the innovation is very fast each day. And with AI, it seems like the world is getting crazy. Things that we used to do in a year or more, now it takes only a few hours. What do you think is the main challenge one person is facing in front of this quickly changing?
Well, I think the main challenge is just sort of getting our heads around the capabilities of AI. I see a lot of people, even really good engineers, that forget to engage it. So sometimes I think we think, oh, I need to plan first before I talk to the AI about that. So, no, you should be using the AI to plan. Should be using the AI to talk about product ideas. Should be using the AI to do these different phases and see what it comes up with. You don't have to prepare to use the AI, and I think it's quite a shift for us to get our heads around, because every other tool, we had to learn to use the tool. This teaches us how to use it on the fly.
And it seems we don't have so much time to learn this new technology.
It's literally, I think we see changes every single day, right? I mean, we people that are in the middle of it, I think we all feel as behind as everybody else.
Yeah, and plus one to what Shon said, and it's a cultural shift. As Shon mentioned, we don't have time to be planning anymore, so we have to actually use the AI tools to actually help us plan, and even the way we think about how we build things. Like in the past, we used to like plan and then start building. Now we have to build. It's like the analogy that I like to think of is we are building a train as the train is moving, or building the tracks as the train is moving. So we have to be as quick as
and
possible.
It seems to me that here in Brazil, we used to think we are very far from US in technology and a lot of things. But it seems to me that even though the ones that are there are facing trouble and difficulties to change their mindset and to follow these new technologies and apply in their business. Is it the same problem we are facing here?
Yeah, I think it's the same problem. And as I said, like we are learning as we go. Like as we start applying things, we learn, oh, this actually works differently. So let's try something else. Oh, actually that works. So let's keep going that way. Oh, actually now there's a new change in the AI model. So now we need to shift. So we do that as we go. So that's very common.
So, Shon, it's right to say that even though for those who lives here in Brazil, we should use the same the same mindset and apply this in our business, because the new technology is here for everyone in the world, in the planet, not only for the ones that lives in Silicon Valley or in China.
Right, and I think that's quite a new change as well, right? It took, because it would always take, in previous technologies, it would always take human experts to learn the technology and then go and deploy it. And so if the technology was built or started in San Francisco, let's say Silicon Valley, it would take years for it to, and consultants and whatnot, to come out. And so you would see this gap in adoption. But what we learned today, sitting with your CTO and CEO, what's actually quite shocking to me was that it's just the realization that everyone accesses this technology at the same time, and the technology, because it can help us implement it itself, it can teach us itself, it is self-contained in the way that it can be adopted. Because of that, you're using the most modern, you're talking about using agents and multi-agent orchestration, which is, that only came around, 6 months, 7-8 months ago, something like that. I mean, André Carpathy is talking about multi-agent.
Yeah, and that's exactly what companies like Meta or Google are facing today. So like the same challenges of like, we have multiple agents and how they work together and what kinds of problems they need to solve or they can solve. These are the same challenges that we are facing there as well.
And what do you think that for those who are working in a project and sometimes they feel afraid, we'll be substituted by an AI. What message can we give to them?
Usually my message is you need to learn how to work with AI. It's not about like AI taking your job. It's about you reshaping your job so that you can work with AI. And you learn how to augment your work, or how to innovate, or how to even rethink what your job is, now that you have AI as a tool, as a co-work that can do things with you. So it's more about like reshaping how you think about your job than, my job is gone, then like I need to do something.
Yeah, I agree. I think that what we forget is AI is unlocking a lot of productivity that wasn't possible before.
Right.
One way I think about this is there were a lot of projects within companies that would never get done because IT was too backed up, or because it was blocking on some expert or some person or some system that wasn't available. So as you were saying, if you're inside of a company, your best bet right now is deeply start using AI. Don't be afraid. Start understanding what it can do. Start innovating with it. Because, when I think about when I sold my software company in 2023, we had a ticketing system for all the bugs and features. And when we sold the company, there were still over 600 tickets that were open that we never got to because we didn't have time, right? Today we live in a world where the AI waits for the human to tell it what to do, but any person in a company can start thinking right now about how they can leverage this, get used to using it, and unlock that productivity. So when we think about how will it change in the future, I think we're going to go through a bump where we're seeing some of these layoffs and whatnot, but I think there's also a massive unlock of productivity, and more people will be back to work once everyone gets to grips with it, what it can really do.
Yeah, and then on top of that, one thing that I see happening a lot is, like, 20 years ago, you had specific boxes for specific job titles. So you had like a PM, and the PM does this, and you have like a software engineer, and the software engineer does that. With AI nowadays, like those boundaries are fuzzy. Like you can be a PM doing software engineer work. You can be a software engineer doing some strategy on how a product should work. And if you rethink your role in that term, then you can actually use AI to actually augment what you need to do instead of like, oh, AI is going to take my job. So just think about like how fluid those boundaries are today.
That's a great point. I have a friend working at Snapchat, and that's one of the things he was saying was that designers are pushing pull requests. So the designers are writing code, and the software engineers are doing design. Right? They're seeing problem set. They're cross-pollinating these problem sets, which used to just be completely separate domains. Yeah. It's very chaotic, right? Where it will end up, it's very hard to understand, but not being afraid and diving into it is the answer for right now.
I think we have to search for the answers. They are not, everybody's searching for the answer and applying AI, testing, and then to search for the answer. But one thing, I think we see that AI is transforming a lot of different industries: manufacturers, wholesales, retailers, consultants, health. Is there any one of these that you see that AI will have more impact or impact first than the others?
I think when you look at agentic technology, AI that doesn't just wait for you to ask a question, but can act based on some sort of business outcome. Businesses that have very measurable outcomes. So this could be something like, it could be cancer research, it could be sales, for example, where those outcomes can be measured digitally. So when we think about sales or marketing, for example, I can do marketing and sales experiments, and I can measure those in real time. How are those running? So industries where that can be closed as a loop with the AI, we can give it the feedback quickly. I think those are the industries that are poised to very quickly adapt, versus I can see in some maybe logistics or manufacturing where there's a very long cycle between feedback, because you have to move around atoms and things before the AI can understand whether or not it was working, or in some medical cases that's also true. So I think things where you can give it a feedback loop where it instantly understands what it's doing is correct or not. That's why it's so good at coding.
Yeah. And understanding the power of I think any sector that understands the power of having agents be an agent, like be agentic, like not wait for you to tell it what to do, but okay.
This is your role to just surface all the knowledge that you can and be agentic just to do something. And then I think all the sectors that actually understand how this works. I mean,
Yeah. Can you tell us anything about what Meta is prioritizing this year? Or
One thing that I can say is, as any other industry I'm imagining in the Silicon Valley, is we are trying to use AI in most of our internal processes. Like things that before you will meet, like 10 different people into a chain. We're using AI engineers to help us in that processes. And as you mentioned, like just the thing, measurably more productive. Like we can measure the productivity of fasting, especially there. When we use these processes, AI in those processes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. What message would you give, what clue would you give to those who want to be in the first line in AI? Please, Shon, your final message to the audience.
Well, I think Dario the other day, and the CEO of Adam's office, said it best. He believes that within the next year, we'll see our first billion-dollar company of only one person. And I would say that literally can be any single person. If they adopt AI and they start doing experiments now, contextual is unlimited. So for the first time, the equalization that we've seen in education or the internet, how we have an equalization of actually doing things now. So the words I would say is, you can just do things now. Just get all 3D.
My message is clear. You have to be comfortable with the chaos. It's going to be chaotic for a while. And just embrace the chaos. Otherwise, you're going to feel overwhelmed. If you learn how to erase the chaos, then you can get on the other side, learning more and making it. Just embrace the chaos.
That's great. Thank you, André. Thank you, Shon. It's very good to have you here with us. Bye, guys.